Hello again, everyone, and thank you for coming to another episode of Shop Talk with George Packard. I'll be your host for the next 5 minutes or so. What we're going to talk about today is how do you get extra work out of clients? Everybody talks about this. This question has come up a million times, and today I'm going to tell you things that we do to get extra work off of clients. And by extras, when you talk about it, okay, your maintenance, basically when you talk maintenance and what your bread and butter is the lawn mowing. The extras are all the things you try to get out of your customers. Now we start out with the lawn care. We focus on that because that's our core business to be in. With that tends to come everything else. The mulching of the beds, trimming of shrubs, trimming of trees, fertilization, pest control, weed control, irrigation work. All those things tend to come a little bit here and there, here and there, here and there. And the more lawn care accounts that you have, the more these other extras start filling in the gaps everywhere. When we first started our businesses, it was very sparse in between. You really had to work hard to get the extra work out of them. And that's one of the things I'm going to teach you guys. But it does get easier as time goes on, because as you get hundreds and hundreds of clients, and Mrs. Jones only has you do one extra thing every month or every 3 months. Well, take that times 5, 6, 7, 8, 900 customers. It doesn't take long before your time is completely filled up. Okay, but to start out, here's what you do to get more of that extra work. You talk to them about it. Talk to them. We ask them for it. We go up to them and say, Mrs. Jones, look, those shrubs are so overgrown. It looks horrible. I mean, we want your house to look awesome. We do a good job with your lawn. You know that, but look at those shrubs. They're terrible. When are you going to have us take care of that? All of a sudden, she'll say, you know what, George? Yeah, they need to be done. Go ahead and do it. Okay, great. We just got some extra work. So now I try to sell her on a program. I try and tell her, Mrs. Jones, look, Roberta, you sexy beast, you, what have you. Look, why don't you let us do this once every other month for you, just to keep them trimmed up so you don't have this big bill. I mean, we just spent 4 hours here cleaning these up. Now you got a monster bill. You could really cut it in half. We just kept it nice and manicured all year. Let us come and do it every month or every 2 months for you. And sometimes they'll go along with it, and especially if you talk to them, you sexy beast, things like that. You really got to get inside their head. But you get the point of the whole thing. I was just kidding, by the way. I don't do that. So anyway, that's one of the things that you can do to get the extra work, okay? Door hangers, of course, are another thing that you can do to get the work. What we do, we're going there to mow anyway, okay? So we've got door hangers that are made out because we don't, number one, our guys don't have a lot of time to spend there. But what we have is we'll put a manager in that truck once a month to go around to everybody's place, okay? His job is, while the guys are mowing that property, he walks around, he looks at everything, and if he sees that the beds could be mulched, we've got a little flyer that's made up that it says, I don't know, it talks about the customer, yada, 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 and then it says something about, we noticed that your mulch in your beds needs to be refreshed, and there's a little check box here, a little white box. So we'll check that off, okay? These are all pre-printed. We don't have to write all of this stuff out. Did you hear how I said that? Pre-printed. I think I need a beer, man. It's got to be close to 9 o'clock at night, and I'm still doing videos. What's wrong with you, man? What's wrong with you? I don't know. But anyway, so we have these little checklists for everything. So the shrubs would really need to be trimmed. Check it off. Your trees need to be trimmed. Check it off. We noticed the weeds coming up in your lawn. They need to be addressed. Check it off. Dollar weeds growing up in your lawn. Check it off. Anything that you see that needs to be done. At the very least, when that customer comes home at night from work, they'll pick that thing up, they'll look at it, and they're not going to automatically throw it in the garbage because it's from Family Lawn and Landscape, which is their company. It's you. They've hired you, so they know you. They look at it, and they see this checklist, and we always put on the bottom of it, please call our office to discuss pricing and to schedule and get pricing for this work. And they'll look at these things, and a lot of times they're so busy, they don't even pay attention to their own place. They'll come home, and they'll look at that, and they'll be like, shrubs are overgrown. What? Then they'll go walking around the house and they'll look and they'll be like, well, Mr. Joneses are trimmed. Mrs. Joneses are trimmed. Mr. and Mrs. Joneses are trimmed. Damn it, all the Joneses are trimmed. Shit. All right. George, yeah, I need those trimmed. Can you get on it? Absolutely. Okie dokie. See how that works? It's a perfect system, guys. They don't pay attention to this stuff because they're not in the lawns every day, but you are. Your manager goes and does that. The other nice thing it does for you, it gives you good PR work because it shows them that you're not just, they know you're upselling. They know that's no secret. Everybody knows that. But at the same time, they also know you're taking care of their property. You're wanting it to look good. The worst case scenario thing that can happen to you is when they come home someday and they look at all their stuff and it looks like crap and all the Joneses, who you all just met, all their places look like $1 million. Then they say, you know, I got to get a new lawn care company. Our guys don't do shit. They just mow the grass. That's all they do. They just mow the grass. I'm going to call somebody else that'll take care of trees, shrubs, this, that, and the other. You know why? They don't even know you do that stuff. They don't even know you do it because you didn't tell them that you do it. And you're not after them all the time trying to tell them, hey, I want to keep your place looking beautiful. Because then, guys, it's a CYA. It's a cover your ass type thing because you've let them know there's a problem with the lawn that the weeds are taking over. If they decide not to do anything about it, they sure as heck can't come back and bitch at you a month later because of it. So it's good PR work because you're showing you're concerned about the property. Yeah, they know it's upselling. Yeah, they know it's going to cost money. But at the same time, you're in their face about it. And if every month you bring up that the weeds are getting worse, 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 eventually, after you've hit them in the head 5 times, they might get it and have you take care of the weeds in the lawn. I don't know, but I'm just saying, try it. All right, let's see. You let them know that you took care of the house. You know, you're taking care of their property. It means a lot to them. Everybody's house, their property is worth gold to them because that's their major investment in life. One of your major investments is a home. You know, you got a home and your automobiles and stuff. Very major investments. Besides women. Women are a huge investment. I've got a story to tell you all about that, but I don't know if I should go into it right now. But it's a good idea for a video. Because I used to pick her up on my motorcycle, went to a place called Burgers 45. I choked a 45-cent burger down her throat, took her back to my one-bedroom apartment. I can't get into all this. But anyway, it cost me 45 cents. Now, hell no. Now I got to put clothes on her, got to buy her a car, had to buy a big house. Now we got 3 German Shepherds, got to go to her parents' house all the time. I mean, there's a million things, but I got to stay focused. You guys do this to me all the time. I'm trying to stay focused. All right. Let's see, what else? We send emails out, too. That's another thing that we do with the extra work. If we have emails for customers, we try to get them all the time. We can send them emails telling them, hey, you know, we noticed that you've got a blight going on out here in your lawn. We got to get this taken care of, or your shrubs are getting bad. They look like there's a disease in the palm trees. All kinds of things that are going on. We can send them emails to bring their attention to it so they go home tonight and they look, okay? Our guys will make little notes on the sheets, but especially that manager. He's your key because your managers are the ones that really give a shit about those clients. The guys in the truck don't really care so much because they're there for their paycheck. That's just face it. That's the bottom line. That's what they're there for, okay? It's top line and the bottom line, okay? Notes with the invoice. That's another thing. If you don't have an email, we put notes in with the invoice. Certain times a year. When it's time to winterize their lawn, we put a little note in there. We just get that paper that's different colors, you know, and then we have a cutter and we just cut them ourselves and we print on them and we just throw them in there and write in with their invoices that say, hey, it's time to winterize your lawns. Please give us a call. We need to, you know, do this for you to make your lawn look great next spring so it looks better than your neighbors. Always throw that in there, better than your neighbors. You don't want to just say so it makes your lawn look nice. You want to say better than your neighbors, okay? That's the knockout punch. That's the bam, 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 bam. That's what you're talking about right there. Okay, so anyway, bottom line, how do you get the extras? By asking them. By asking them. Stay in their face with them, but don't pound them, beat them to death with it. But that once a month thing, what's wrong with that? Put something in with the invoices or send them an email or have your manager leave the door hangers on them. It shows good PR work all the time, plus it gets you extras. Half the time they're not going to give them to you if they don't know that you do that stuff. You got to communicate. It's all about communication. So anyway, that's been another exciting episode of Shop Talk with your host, George Packard. I'll be here all week.